Cristiano Ronaldo up for sale. Beckham wants Ramos. Spurs chase the German World Cup winner. Giroud needs football, and the transfer roundup all coming up in the next few minutes. As I am your host, Matt Froelich, you are the OneFootballers, and this is the Daily News. So first up, and the unthinkable might happen. Apparently Juventus are going to put Cristiano Ronaldo up for sale next summer for two reasons. One of them is apparently head coach Andrea Pirlo thinks he's quite selfish, and the second is that he has an absolutely astronomical wage. The second one I can kind of get behind. The first one, I'm not entirely sure. This seems to me like a bit of paper talk rubbish, because we've seen Cristiano Ronaldo over the years. Yes, he may be a little bit egocentric and a little bit selfish, but to be at the top for that long, you kind of got to be. You can also see how much of a team player he is, and nothing has changed since he's moved from Real Madrid to Juventus. Of course, he was brought in with a specific aim of helping Juventus win a Champions League, but it can't be all on Ronaldo. I mean, he's tried as much as he can in the last few years. Having said that, his contract runs out in 2022, and well, it's pretty clear that it's going to be difficult for Juventus to justify a 31 million euro base pay per year for someone who at that time will be 37 years old. Of course, they also don't want to lose him on a free, so it looks to reason that next summer, 2021, they will be moving him on. Now, I don't think they'll be able to charge that crazy fee they paid for him, over 100 million euros, but if they get any sort of money from him, from any sort of club, then they're getting rid of his wages as well. That is saving an astronomical amount of money per year. The one issue for me is that wherever he goes next, you could say in Europe, probably PSG would pay that kind of money for him. If not, if he moves to China or to the MLS, they'd be happy to pay his wages. I'm just not so sure they'd be happy to pay a really, really big transfer fee for him, especially in America. But talking of America, one player who could move over there is Sergio Ramos to join former Real Madrid teammate David Beckham. Of course, Beckham isn't playing anymore, but he does own a club in the MLS, Inter Miami. And with a few big names on their books like Blaise Matuidi and Gonzalo Higuain, he wants Ramos to be the latest to join the club. The issue here, again, like with all other players playing at big clubs in Europe, is the wage. Around 25 million euros per year is what Sergio Ramos earns, and he's currently in talks to Real Madrid about extending his contract for one more season. At the moment, Ramos still looks to be a very, very good defender, although there have been a few signs of a slight decline in his play, and that is to be expected when you're 34 years old, heading into 35. So, if Real Madrid want to look to the future, it looks as though their club captain has played over 700 games and scored 100 goals for them, maybe moved on. It's not a decision they'll be taking lightly, but for the future of the club, with other good options at centre-back and some big moves in the transfer market looking like they're going to happen too, maybe, just maybe, Ramos will make the switch and head over to the MLS. So next up, and to North London, where Spurs and apparently Arsenal are both interested in Jerome Boateng. Now, the Bayern Munich defender is out of contract in the summer, and although Bayern said that he has played well recently, he has come into some good form, and he probably deserves a new contract at the club, it looks as though they're going to have to choose between him and potentially David Alaba. Now, Alaba does want to leave the club as we stand, but don't rule out the fact that even though Bayern have pulled out their contract offer to Alaba, that they will go back in with a better offer should things heat up. There is interest in him. Liverpool and Manchester City are both interested in Alaba, so it looks as though Boateng would more than likely be the one to leave if Bayern had a choice. Unfortunately, it looks like they may not have a choice, and both of them could end up leaving the club. And as I've mentioned before, seems to be the theme of this daily news, the wages are ridiculous. Like for Alaba, yes, you can understand it, but even for Jerome Boateng, age 32, there's still an insane amount of money per week. And the thing is, they're not really going to be able to get a massive transfer fee for him like they would for Alaba. For Jose Mourinho and Mikel Arteta, both are still interested in shoring up their defensive options at the back, and Jerome Boateng, even though he's past his best, would still be a pretty good option. Finally then, and Olivier Giroud wants to move away from Chelsea. Of course he does. This is such an odd deal, right? He played 33 minutes of Premier League action this season. Of course he has, because Chelsea brought in Timo Werner. They also brought in Hakim Ziyech, Kai Havertz, and although those guys aren't strikers, they still provide loads more attacking options, and the way they play isn't exactly conducive to the way that Olivier Giroud plays. He needs someone just off of him like Antoine Griezmann does in the French national team, and Chelsea don't really have that. They play more of a 4-3-3 situation, and well, he doesn't really fit into the tactical setup. Alongside this, Tammy Abraham is still showing that he's got what it takes to challenge Timo Werner, leaving Olivier Giroud as the third choice striker with only one spot available in the team. At the back end of last season, Giroud actually did really well. 8 goals in 13 games meant that Chelsea finished inside the top 4, and he thought, you know what? All this talk of me moving in January, maybe I'm better off at Chelsea. I'll sign a new 1-year contract extension, but then you saw what happened in the summer. Now, Giroud is facing exactly the same problem heading into January. He needs to play some football if he's to make sure he's in with a chance of being in the Euro 2021 squad for France. Having said this, personally, I think that Giroud's going to be in there whatever happens. We've seen how well he's played for France, how much he's given to the team. I think he's their third highest all-time goal scorer, maybe even their second now. And he's such a unique player, and France don't really have anyone else like him. So even if he's not playing regular football at Chelsea and all the superstars that France have got, once they come into the squad, Giroud will still be taken, even as a backup, even if he doesn't start. I don't think he's got too much to worry about his France place, but yeah, if he wants to play football at the age of 34, he really needs to be moving on from West London. So lastly then, a quick round-up of the rest of the day's news that you might have missed. And Bayern Munich are interested in taking Gladbach midfielder Dennis Zakaria, but only next summer. Real Madrid midfielder Fede Valverde will be out for a few months with a broken leg. Dean Henderson has said he wants to leave Manchester United on loan in January to make sure he's got a chance of taking the #1 spot for England at the Euros next summer. And lastly but not least, no prizes for guessing Jack Wilshere's reply when he was asked the question, would he join Tottenham? Of course, the former Arsenal man is currently out of contract and available on a free transfer, to which he said, absolutely not. He is, of course, still loyal to Arsenal. Smash the like button and check out everything else we got going on OneFootball around the screen now. That's it from me though, and until next time, I will see you guys later.